I used to believe that my life was a flawless tapestry, every thread meticulously woven into place. At 34, I had a successful career as a graphic designer, a beautiful home in the suburbs, and a husband, Michael, who was every bit as accomplished as I was. Our friends envied us, our colleagues admired us, and on social media, we were the epitome of marital bliss. Yet, beneath this polished exterior, I felt a growing emptiness, an inexplicable void that no amount of success or comfort could fill. It was a chilly autumn evening when everything began to change. I was attending a networking event for creative professionals, a gathering I frequented to stay connected and inspired. The room buzzed with conversations about the latest design trends, upcoming projects, and the usual exchange of business cards. As I navigated through the crowd, my eyes met someone I hadn't seen in years. Ethan Collins, my college roommate and first love. Ethan had always been the carefree artist, the one with wild dreams and an infectious laugh. Over the years, he had transformed into a confident, charming man who carried himself with a magnetic presence. Seeing him again stirred memories of a simpler time, a period when our lives were filled with shared dreams and untainted connections. Isabella? Ethan's voice cut through the ambient noise, pulling me back to the present. He approached with a warm smile, his eyes reflecting a mix of surprise and genuine pleasure. "Ethan, it's been too long," I replied, feeling a warmth spread through me. There was an immediate ease in our conversation, a familiarity that made the time between us vanish in an instant. We spent the evening reminiscing about our college days, late-night study sessions, spontaneous road trips, and the dreams we once held so passionately. As the night wore on, the chemistry between us became undeniable, reigniting emotions I had long suppressed. When the event ended, Ethan invited me to his art exhibit the following week. Hesitant yet intrigued, I agreed, unaware that this decision would set the course for the most tumultuous period of my life. The weeks that followed were a whirlwind of emotions. I found myself thinking about Ethan more often than I cared to admit. Our conversations had evolved from casual catch-ups to deep, meaningful discussions about our aspirations, regrets, and the paths our lives had taken since college. One evening, Ethan reached out with an invitation to his art exhibit. I hesitated, the guilt of even considering it gnawing at me, but curiosity won out. Walking into the gallery, I was greeted by vibrant, bold artwork that was unapologetically expressive, each piece a testament to Ethan's journey as an artist. As I moved through the space, I felt a sense of nostalgia and longing wash over me. Ethan approached me with a glass of wine in hand. "I'm glad you came. It means a lot to have you here." I took a sip, our eyes locking in a moment that felt both familiar and electrifying. "Your work is incredible, Ethan. You've really found your voice." We spent hours immersed in conversation, the boundaries between friendship and something more becoming increasingly blurred. As the night drew to a close, the intensity of our connection reached its peak. Ethan leaned in, his presence enveloping me, and before I could process the situation, we shared a passionate kiss. In that instant, I knew my life was about to change, irrevocably. The aftermath of that night was a tangled web of emotions. I felt alive in ways I hadn't in years, yet the guilt weighed heavily on my conscience. Michael, my husband, remained blissfully unaware of the internal struggle I was experiencing. Our marriage, while comfortable, had settled into a predictable routine, lacking the passion that once defined it. I tried to suppress my feelings for Ethan, convincing myself that it was just a fleeting moment driven by nostalgia. but the connection we shared was too profound to ignore. We continued to meet, each encounter deepening our bond and reigniting the flames of desire that I thought had long been extinguished. One Sunday afternoon, Michael and I were having brunch with friends. The conversation took an unexpected turn when one of our friends mentioned Ethan's name. A pang of anxiety shot through me, but I dismissed it as mere coincidence. However, as the days went by, more coincidences surfaced. Mutual friends mentioned Ethan, and I couldn't shake the feeling that fate was pulling us together. As months passed, my clandestine affair with Ethan became more frequent and intense. Each stolen moment was a mix of passion and guilt, pulling me further away from the life I had built with Michael. My work began to suffer. Distracted during meetings, my creativity waned, and maintaining the professional demeanor that had once been my trademark became increasingly difficult. Michael noticed the change, growing concerned but unable to pinpoint the cause. One evening, after a particularly tumultuous day, I found myself confiding in my best friend, Laura. I don't know what to do, Laura. I love Michael, but I can't deny the connection I have with Ethan. It's tearing me apart. Laura listened intently, her expression sympathetic. You need to figure out what you truly want, Isabella. It's not fair to either of them if you continue down this path without clarity. I knew Laura was right, but the decision felt impossible. The life I had built with Michael was everything I had ever wanted, yet the allure of Ethan was too strong to resist. The inevitable confrontation came sooner than I anticipated. Michael had sensed the distance growing between us and decided to address it head on. One evening, he sat me down, his expression serious yet gentle. Isabella, something's changed. You're not the same anymore. Is there something you want to talk about? Tears welled in my eyes as I struggled to find the right words. Michael, I feel like I'm losing myself. Our marriage is wonderful, but I can't shake this feeling of emptiness. He reached out, taking my hands in his. We can work through this together. Maybe we need to seek counseling, spend more time with each other. I wanted to agree, to hold on to the life we had built, but my heart was pulling me in another direction. That night, after Michael had gone to bed, I made a decision that would change everything. I reached out to Ethan, suggesting we meet to talk. Ethan agreed, and we met at a quiet cafe the following day. The air between us was thick with tension and unspoken words. Isabella, what are you doing? Ethan asked, concern etched on his face. I don't want to hurt you or Michael. I took a deep breath, my voice trembling. Ethan, I care about you deeply, but I can't keep doing this. It's tearing me apart, and I don't know how to fix it. He reached out, pulling me into a heartfelt embrace. I care about you too, Isabella. Maybe we need to take a step back and figure out what we truly want. As we sat there, holding on to each other amidst the chaos of our emotions, I realized the magnitude of my actions. I had to choose between the comfort of my established life and the uncertain path that lay ahead. Determined to salvage my marriage, I sought professional help. Therapy sessions with Michael were challenging but necessary, forcing us to confront the underlying issues that had led to our drifting apart. The process was painful, filled with raw emotions and difficult conversations, but both of us were committed to salvaging what we still valued in each other. I grappled with feelings of guilt and shame, struggling to reconcile my actions with the love I still felt for Michael. I questioned my own worth and wondered if I had been unlovable, prompting me to dive deeper into my own insecurities and unmet needs. The affair with Ethan had been a misguided attempt to fill a void, but it had only highlighted the fractures in our marriage that had been ignored for so long. Michael, on the other hand, struggled with betrayal and the challenge of rebuilding trust. He found himself questioning every aspect of our relationship, trying to understand what had led me to seek solace elsewhere. The pain of infidelity was compounded by his own feelings of inadequacy, fearing that he had somehow failed to meet my emotional needs. Ethan, aware of the turmoil his involvement had caused, attempted to distance himself from me. He understood the impact of his actions and respected Michael's right to seek happiness and healing. Our interactions became limited to occasional, necessary communications, leaving me to navigate the aftermath of my choices on my own. As the months passed, both Michael and I began to find glimmers of hope amidst the darkness. Therapy provided us with tools to communicate more effectively, to listen without judgment, and to address the underlying issues that had driven me to infidelity. We rediscovered shared interests and began to rebuild the emotional connection that had been lost. One spring morning, I woke up feeling a sense of peace I hadn't felt in years. The guilt and confusion that had plagued me had slowly given way to clarity and determination. I realized that my happiness didn't lie in the allure of a forbidden affair, but in the love and partnership I shared with Michael. During one of our counseling sessions, Michael reached out, his eyes filled with understanding. "I know it wasn't easy, Isabella, but seeing you commit to us again means everything to me." I smiled, squeezing his hand. "We've been through so much, but I believe in us. I want to keep building our life together, stronger than before." Our relationship had weathered the storm of infidelity, emerging more resilient and deeply connected. The shadows of desire that had once threatened to consume us were now a testament to our strength and dedication to one another. As the years passed, Michael and I continued to grow together, our bond fortified by the trials we had overcome. We traveled to new places, explored different cultures, and celebrated milestones with the same enthusiasm that had once characterized our early days together. I thrived in my career, my creative spark reignited by the love and support I received from Michael. I often reflected on the lessons learned during my darkest moments, using them to inspire my work and enrich my personal life. Ethan, too, moved forward with his life, finding success in his writing career and forming new relationships. Though our paths had diverged, the memories we shared remained a poignant reminder of the fragility and complexity of human emotions. One summer evening, Michael and I hosted a dinner party for our closest friends and family. The backyard was adorned with twinkling lights, the air filled with laughter and the aroma of delicious food. As we mingled with our guests, I felt a profound sense of gratitude for the life we had built together. Later that night, as the party wound down, I found myself standing alone on the patio, gazing up at the star-studded sky. Michael joined me, wrapping an arm around my shoulders. "Beautiful night, isn't it?" he said softly. I nodded, leaning into his embrace. "It is, and I'm grateful for every moment we've shared." Michael kissed the top of my head, a gesture filled with love and reassurance. "We've come a long way, haven't we?" I smiled, feeling the weight of the past lifted by the promise of the future. "Yes, we have, and I wouldn't trade it for anything." As I reflect on my journey, I realize that the path to happiness was never straightforward. The allure of forbidden desires led me to question the foundations of my life, forcing me to confront my deepest fears and insecurities. Through it all, I discovered the true meaning of love, commitment, and self-forgiveness. My relationship with Michael transformed from one of complacency to one of active partnership, where both of us worked tirelessly to support and uplift each other. The experience taught me that love was not just about the good times, but also about weathering the storms together. My story is one of redemption and the triumph of love over temptation. It serves as a reminder that even in the darkest moments, there is hope for healing and renewal. Years later, Michael and I stood hand in hand at the altar, surrounded by friends and family who had witnessed our journey. The vows we exchanged were heartfelt and genuine, a culmination of the love and resilience that had carried us through. As we kissed, sealing our commitment to each other, I felt a surge of emotion. The shadows of desire that had once threatened to dismantle our lives had instead led us to a deeper, more meaningful connection. Our story is far from perfect, but it is real, filled with both triumphs and tribulations, love and loss, desire and dedication. It is a testament to the power of forgiveness and the enduring strength of the human heart. As we embarked on this new chapter together, I knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, we would face them side by side, our love serving as a guiding light through the shadows of desire.